hello, and welcome to the follow-up to the longest first show that totally confused everyone tuning in.
People were very confused.
And for those who listen, thank you. And I'm sorry. I will try to do better.
You did great.
Yeah, according to you. We don't really have a name for this yet, so I think now we're just going to call it Chatty Caveman.
I love it.
Basically, I'm not that evolved.
I like it.
So, we're just talking about sports and movies and other shows we've been watching. Down here where we live, we had a rough Monday. All of a sudden there was a storm that came through. Everything was closed. I mean, the schools have been closed all week for the kids, and I was in the house Monday. So when I'm in the house, I got nothing going on, that TV's on, I watched the Emmys. I had it recorded. I watched the Emmys, and I watched sporting events, and I saw that the Bear won a bunch of awards. I was just like, okay, great. I liked the first season of the Bear, but it won for the second season. So I watched the entire second season on Monday, and it won for comedy. I don't get it. I mean, I think that's bullshit. It's a good show.
And
it's not a comedy.
No, it's got comedy in it.
There's a couple of funny characters, but I heard the reason why, and this is insane. I heard the reason why it's in the comedy category is because it's a 30-minute show. I didn't understand it. I mean, you had Hacks, you had Curb, you had your show that you like, the one with the vampires.
Within something, the Shadows.
Yes, that was up there. I mean, all
Great
those
show.
were in, you had all those in the same category, Abbott Elementary, whatever. But all I'm saying is, it's a good show. See it second season, great. Put it in the drama. I mean, it's not a comedy at all. And Curb, this is the last year of Curb, and it's never won for comedy.
And it
never
lost,
won. It's won writing. It's won whatever. It's done.
Bear.
Huh?
And it lost
and
to
it
the
lost
Bear.
to the Bear. Well, I mean, the actors lost to the Bear. Larry David never won for anything. He's just a good. I mean,
the show didn't win Best Comedy, you said?
No, Best Comedy won. Hacks won Best Comedy.
Okay, so
but
was
it was all the
nominated?
actors. The actors in the comedy category. I think 3 or 4 of them in the comedy category won for the Bear.
Okay, the actors though, if those actors are the comedic elements of the show,
nope.
The brother, if he was nominated, he is like one of the number one comedy parts of that show. Wouldn't you say?
Not season 2, definitely not. I don't know if you watched season 2.
I didn't watch season 2.
It was much more serious. It was funny. It's funny that it's serious and that they won.
All right.
But anyway, well, moving on.
Yeah.
Because the show was way too long last week. So we're going to make it a little easier. But apparently, Tom Brady is listening to all his critics, and he's literally treating it like he's on the practice field. Because if you watched the game this week that he did, it was incredible. Not he was incredible. It was incredible that the second that the other guy stopped talking, he talked until the ball was snapped.
Every time?
He almost every time. He was just talking. Because he's supposed to be the color guy and the ex-NFL player that knows about what happened in the play or whatever. And last time he was just like, type of thing, whatever.
Right.
So apparently he listened to everybody because
right.
You could see it. And I think he's going to really work on it really hard. He did repeat himself a bunch. You could tell he's almost like trying to say stuff that he didn't really need to say.
Right.
But he, he'll get better at it. I think he did much better at it, but it was still, you could tell he was just trying so hard. Like some of these other guys just love football. I don't know if it's so weird. I mean, he had a supermodel wife who's a multimillionaire on her own. He didn't really come up from, I don't know what he came up from. He didn't really come up from this genre of, I guess, knowing popular current events and like different things. So you could tell he was kind of out of place trying to put in little words about things like the color that you could tell he didn't know anything about.
Yeah, I never found him to be someone who's very charismatic. I've heard him interviewed like on Howard. He's been on Stern before. And he's just like,
he tries very hard.
He does, but he doesn't have much personality.
Exactly.
And on the, in the moment, it's pretty obvious he's not natural on flowing.
His charisma is on film.
Right.
It's not. The talking thing is not his forte.
And it's not even very good.
No.
I mean, but it is well rehearsed.
Yes. Even when he's doing all these commercials now, you could see it's so forced. He's trying to be this.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really rough.
He's landing his lines, he's smiling, and he's doing it. But
he's laughing at us all because he's making more money than anybody in the commercials out or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Talk about as talented, crazy talented, and I don't even want to get into any sort of like you just say he's a cheater, he's this, that. Like I have respect for him assuming that he's not a cheater. Because how can you not have respect for those statistics?
Well, he didn't do it by himself. That's the Patriots. Those Patriots are cheaters.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cheaters. Let's face it.
Trust me.
There's tons of cheaters in the league.
They're all trying to do it.
It's just who's getting caught. That's it, man.
Well, they
and
were
who's
so
really
good that they had
at
to
it.
find something on them.
Yeah.
They were so good. So, Tom, take it from a chatty caveman. A little bit less chatty. That's all. Just a little bit less, because you got to let something.
Me?
No, I'm talking about Tom Brady.
Oh, Tom Brady. Gotcha.
Yeah, not you.
I
It's
thought
okay.
you said me.
You could talk more, so I could shut up.
Okay.
Last week, basically, all the games where I was right and where I was wrong, I figured I'd go through this because it was an interesting week. A lot of upsets last week. But if you think about it, I said the Bills before Tua got hurt. I said the Bills are going to win that game. They got Miami's number. They've had it for a long time.
Yes, took him out.
I said the Jets were going to beat the Titans. Very upsettingly, I said that I think the Jets are going to win that game.
And they didn't. I don't know. I didn't watch them, but I watched somebody watch them on YouTube.
Yeah, the Titans didn't look good. My Titans did not look
Jets
good.
didn't look good either, man.
They didn't look great, but
But
I
didn't
saw the
lose.
guy you were watching on YouTube. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, he's very animated about what's going on.
Hell
right now.
yeah.
Just like you.
Right.
The Patriots, I said no matter what, they're going to play that game close against the Seahawks, and they played it within 3. And
Did you
I
pick
said
they were going to win?
no.
They
I said
won,
they're going
right?
to keep it close, and I said no, they didn't. They lost. Seahawks are 2-0, baby. I don't know how, but they're 2-0. The Commanders over the Giants. I literally said I don't know if the Giants can score 20 points. And they didn't score 20 points. And the Commanders scored 20 points against the Bucs on the road. I said they should score 20 points, so it's an easy game.
And
Take the
what was
Commanders.
the score?
21-18.
Okay.
The Giants couldn't score.
They could score 20, but they came close.
Mhm.
All right.
But they didn't. I also said I wasn't going to pick the Dallas and Saints game because I don't know who was for real. But I said take the over. I said if I was going to pick that, I'd take the over. And you said, come on, you make a pick. I said, all right, I'll take Dallas. But I wouldn't bet it. I'd take the over. And that was a crazy game.
That was a crazy game.
That was a crazy game. And your Saints, the Saints might be the Rams from a few years ago when they were like Kurt Warner, because they got a lot. They got a lot going on. And the defense is just as good. When you're behind, your defense gets better because they know you're playing catch up and they know you're playing the pass, and you got less time on the clock, so you have to really move the ball downfield. So they're playing a different way. I said the Packers no matter what. And you're like, the Packers no matter what, I'm going to take the Colts.
Right.
And I said the Packers no matter what, and they won without their quarterback, with a guy who wasn't that great, but they won.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to say the same thing this week.
That was one of the few. I only won a few against you.
What I got wrong last week, the Vikings beat San Francisco in Minnesota. That was the shocker for everybody. So I'm not the only one who got it wrong, but that was a big one. What I did say, though, was teams that get hot, that win a game that they're not supposed to win, especially in the first week, it takes them a few weeks because they think they're better than they are. I said, so the Vikings and your boy, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. He lit it up. I mean, San Francisco's hurt. Debo's hurt now this week. McCaffrey's still out. They got problems.
Apparently, the defense was it. Nate's a Minnesota fan, and he's like, "Oh, Purdy went up to the defensive coordinator and was like, man, you guys are, so good.' Like, it said whatever compliment he said or whatever. But was their defense on fire?
They're doing really well. That was a high-powered team that they were up against. So they're doing really well. You can't say anything against the Giants because you don't know what the heck the Giants really are.
Right.
I mean, they're looking like they're not doing anything this year.
We'll see.
The Browns at the Jaguars.
Right.
The Browns came back and won against the Jaguars team that has so much talent. You thought they were going to do something.
So
But
you
then
were wrong
I
on
heard
this one.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
Me too.
I heard a lot of people say Trevor Lawrence, their quarterback, he doesn't put it together consistently too many weeks in a row, and that's why they're hot and cold. He hasn't put it together yet. They haven't really moved the ball. They got weapons. They got running back. He's a good quarterback. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's new people there, but I wouldn't trust the Jaguars at this point to do much of anything. The Bucs over the Lions. I'm so mad. The Bucs. Baker Mayfield. He's a story. I know he's a story. Everybody's loving this whole Tampa Bay, who I hate. Tampa Bay. I just.
And who'd they beat?
They beat my Lions.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
That's right. I
and
saw that.
And it was a terrible clock management at the end, terrible everything. I just man, I don't understand. The Lions have so much, but once again, when they swap quarterbacks for Stafford and Goff, it's kind of the same thing when I say they're streaky when they turn over the ball. So when you turn over the ball, like they come in streaks. It's like 2 or 3 in a row, 2 or 3 games in a row, 2 or 3 times in a row when they do it at the worst possible time.
Right.
And that's just so demoralizing for a fan going, yeah, we got to, oh, man. Nothing. Okay, but the big game that everybody was shocked. First week, the Cardinals went into Buffalo, played good the first quarter, and then the Bills came back and stormed back. This week,
they were like
the Rams
what?
Didn't do anything. The Cardinals ran right over them.
Yeah, they did.
It was unbelievable. And they're talking about this team as another powerhouse offense. Now, I'm surprised. Now, the only thing is you got 2 guys now out for the Rams. You got Cooper Kupp. He's done for a few weeks anyway. And Puka Nacua. So who's he throwing the ball to, Stafford? But he's a guy. Like I said, just like Jared Goff. I'm worried about Jared Goff because I've seen them do it in Detroit so many years in a row with Stafford. There was a lot of big upsets this week. They were talking about it. A lot of big upsets everywhere. And Vegas made some money. They definitely made a lot of money.
Yeah, they always do this.
Okay, the Raiders. The Raiders beat the Ravens in Baltimore.
Yes, that's big.
That was a huge game.
So the Ravens haven't won.
0-2.
Yeah, they're 0-2.
0-2. And it's like,
that's a big
what's
deal.
going on? Lamar Jackson, MVP of the league a couple years ago. Now, what? What's he going to do? 0-2. Can they put it together? They brought in Travis Henry. Is it going to work? They brought in this big signing by this big back, change the offense. Look, Lamar Jackson, when he runs, I always said, you don't know about these big backs coming in and slowing down these fast quarterbacks because you need to get ahead of steam with these guys. These big guys aren't these quick little scat backs. When you see somebody going through the line that's fast, look at the guy in Atlanta. He's unbelievable, Robinson. When he turns a corner and he takes the handoff, if he goes to the line, he's already 3 steps to the line. If there's a hole, he's in it. I know because I'm a Tennessee Titan fan. Travis Henry takes a little, he's got to hit somebody to try and get him out of the way if there's not a good offensive line. And he's a big guy. He's a big target. He's unbelievable. He's a monster. But that's why a lot of the league changed to these little scat backs. There's not that many of them that are playing every down. And he doesn't play every down, so it's hard to get him going. Then the offense changes. It's going to be interesting to watch for the next few weeks, but we'll see. All right, so last week's game, real quick. You want to go through just the scores? Just real quick, okay?
Okay.
The Bills, 31. The Dolphins, 10. Dolphins, they're in trouble, okay? They're in trouble because they signed, I don't know who they signed. It was like they signed an ex-Pro Bowl quarterback. I think he was in the Pro Bowl because nobody else could go because they were all in the playoffs.
Right.
So he was like the 12th pick in the Pro Bowl. He really wasn't deserving of a your Pro Bowl pick. It wasn't like Josh Allen. He's going to the Pro Bowl against so-and-so.
Right.
So it's going to take a while. They don't know. Tua is going to be on injured reserve for just a little bit to see if he's going to come back. They don't know. They say he doesn't want to retire. That's fine. He could do what he wants to do. Tua, because he got a concussion. And this is now the 3rd concussion in the pros and the 4th, considering his last year in Alabama, and 3, where he looked bad. It looked bad, the concussion. He should have slid. He ran. He got hit. And he got hit by the guy in Buffalo, Hamlin, who died on the field 2 years ago. He got hit. That guy knocked Tua out of the game. He's now their starting defender on the Buffalo Bills again.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, you watch a lot of football.
Man, you know what? I'm realizing more and more that I shouldn't be here. I don't know any
I'm not talking to the wall or Poppy, so it's okay.
Yeah, all right.
The Chargers and the Panthers. We talk about that game. The Chargers demolished the Panthers to the point where Bryce Young is just sat. They're benching him for Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple of games that are going to be coming up in the next week that are going to be totally different than anything else you see from whatever. The Bengals and the Chiefs. We didn't talk about that game. Somehow, every single time, there's a call. There's a pass interference call. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm looking at a younger, hipper Tom Brady. Every single time go down the field, you can't leave him a minute on the clock. They go down the field. Oh, I'm going to kick a field goal and win the game. The Bengals played that game unbelievable. I didn't believe they were going to. The Bengals played that game unbelievable. Now I do believe Cincinnati matches up somehow with Kansas City better than anybody in the league. I don't know what they do. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's the players on the line. I don't know if they don't get confused by the plays and what happens. They just stay in their scheme and their game plan no matter what. But somehow at the end of that game, Mahomes comes back and does it again. Now, they did lose Pacheco. They lost him for a good amount of weeks, and he's the running back with a fibula. So he's out like I think he's about 6 weeks. And last, the Steelers and the Broncos. A dog of a game that nobody needed to watch.
And
unfortunately for the Eagles, the Falcons came in, and the Battle of the Birds, the Falcons won. I don't know how they did it. They taught a lot of people on Monday night how to play the Eagles. Because if you can contain that quarterback, he's unbelievable, okay? But if you can contain that quarterback inside and make when the defenders went out to tackle him when he was scrambling and he went outside to the sideline, the defender didn't run at him because they know that he's faster than them and he can out. So instead, the defender just ran directly to the sideline, if you watch the plays, and he made him come back in so he had help. I'm watching it going, why doesn't everybody do this?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It's just because you watch, you're like, oh, I could tackle him, I could dive at his feet, and it never happens. The guy always gets, 8 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, first down, whatever. They just said, you know what? Let him scramble. We're not going to go towards him going further into the backfield. We're just going to, as soon as he scrambles out, one guy is just going to cut the sideline off. He's going to go straight across. And I saw it on one of the final plays where I was like, wow, that saved everything. That saved their lead. That saved their game. I was like, okay. It was impressive to watch.
Yeah, well, that should be something that everyone should adopt.
I think they're gonna pick it up because you got to realize you can't catch these guys.
Yeah,
they're too fast.
Right.
You can't. They're fast. They know what they're doing, and these linemen, these linebackers, and even the cornerbacks, they're just gonna out-juke them and whatever, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting week of that, just watching it all go down with a lot of players. Where you're like, okay, this guy is good. This guy is, all right, he gets lucky every once in a while. But the Eagles game was a telltale sign. What happened last year? And they're going to be interesting now because they fell apart at the end of last year. They won big the first week of the season. And last week, Monday night, you think that they're going to roll over them in Philly. And they couldn't get it done. And that was a Falcons team that got demoralized.
And what was the score?
22-21.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
It was the interception thrown with 40 seconds left.
It was unbelievable what happened. I'm just saying, like, the Falcons were in that position because they took the Eagles out of their specific game plan. Saquon had a good game again. They were playing well. Now, the Eagles don't have A.J. Brown. If he comes back, it'll be a whole different story. But we'll see. Now, this week, you know who's playing Thursday?
Yeah. Jets, Patriots. That's right. What's your pick? Jets are given 6.5.
I'm picking the Jets reluctantly, but I'm a jinx.
Given
for
6.5, and you're picking the Jets.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I good for you.
Thursday night, Jets are at home.
I'll do it. Maybe I should not do it. If this, it doesn't even matter. If I cared about this bet, but I don't. It's not really a bet.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, good. You picked yours. I'm not even going to say anything.
Man,
what you want me to say?
I want you to pick one. Pick one.
I'll pick on this one. If I got to pick
with
one
the spread
out of this with the spread. Honestly, I don't have faith in the Jets to win by 7. So if I had to, I'd probably bet New England, but I'm not going to.
I'm only betting on coaches right now. If I had to bet that game, I'm not betting the game. But if I had to bet that game, I would bet the Jets because new coach and a coach that's been there a few years that plays the same team twice a year. So that's the only reason why I'm picking it.
I don't have faith in the Jets, but I'll pick the Jets. But I don't think that the Jets will beat the spread.
Okay, Giants at the Browns. Spread is 6.5 again.
That the Giants are getting 6.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say they're going to continue to suck, and I'd go Cleveland.
Yeah, I say no thanks to this whole game, but I'll pick Cleveland as well.
Right.
Like, I'm not watching this game. I have no reason to watch this game. I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah. They're just going to see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be sad if they get their asses kicked by the Browns as well.
To me, there's about 3 big games of the week that, like, yes, you just like more, please. I want more of this. Your New Orleans Saints
My
at
New
home
Orleans Saints, yes.
against the Eagles, who just lost
who
on
just
Monday
lost.
night.
Yeah,
And they're going to New Orleans.
I'm going with my heart. Now, going to New Orleans, and I would guess the spread is 4 or 2.
2.5.
2.5.
For the Saints.
Okay, yeah, because they're home. So that they're saying it's kind of an even game, which makes sense with the wins, right? Kind of.
I mean, the Saints
have
are
won.
on a
They're
record pace of scoring points.
Right. I'm going to go Saints.
Okay. I'm going Saints as well.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a little bit of a slip for the Eagles until they get back. If you look at the offense of what they did, the Saints, what they did against Dallas last week, and then this week, I think there's going to be a hangover from the Monday night loss. That's what I'm thinking, especially when you go on the road the next week. That's my thing.
All right.
There's a trap game this week. To me, this is a big trap game. And this is the Houston Texans going to the powerhouse Minnesota Vikings.
Listen,
and what I mean is they won 2 in a row. And they're both
they're
2-0. And Houston is going to Minnesota. Houston is one of only 4 or 5 road favorites at 2.5 points in Minnesota. They think Justin Jefferson is going to play. He got injured. And then they also think Addison is going to come back because he hasn't played. So Minnesota might be closer to full strength on the wide receiving core. And the Texans were impressive. I mean, they play very well in all phases. They played against Caleb Williams, but when it came down to it at the right time, they put pressure on that quarterback. I don't have a lot of faith in Sam Darnold, but maybe he's matured and changed. There's quarterbacks that do that. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield. He's doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You find the rhythm. You get confidence. You get used to scoring.
And I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, and I'll take Minnesota to go against you.
Okay.
And I kind of want Minnesota because I want Sam Darnold.
Call him Tom Darnold too. That's his brother.
Yeah.
The first game that I would put in a teaser, if I did a teaser this week, this would be game 1 of the teaser.
Okay, game 1 of the teaser.
And this would be the Broncos, and they're at the Bucks.
Okay, so you think that the Broncos are going to get slammed hard by the Bucks, right?
The Bucks are favored by 6.5. So if I tease this game, I would take 6 points down, and I would say the Bucks are favored by 0.5 point.
Right.
And then this way, all the Bucks have to do is win the game.
That's it.
And not tie.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think the Bucks are way better than the Broncos with the rookie quarterback, and they haven't done anything. So that would be my number one.
One of the three.
One of the 3. I actually have 4, but I would pick
4.
3 of them. But this would be a definite one.
Well, 4, you make more money when you do 4.
You do. You can make more money, and you can lose
so
too.
I want to know what 4. Okay.
We'll just go through. Okay, the Packers are playing on the road against my Tennessee Titans, who've done nothing.
Right.
Nothing
and
in
the
2
Packers,
games.
You believe in
They
them.
lost last week, but Jordan Love may or may not come back. I believe in them in Green Bay. The Titans are at home, and they're a 3-point favorite. They haven't won a game, and they're a 3-point favorite. Yes, they have a quarterback that has been throwing the ball away in the worst possible times. I just don't know, but I'm picking the Titans at home. I think the Packers, they won last week. I think this week they're going to go on the road. I think the Titans will finally put one together, and then next week probably Jordan Love will come back, and then the Packers will start rolling again. I just don't think – and by the way, this is a revenge game because the quarterback that's starting for the Packers was with the Titans last year. So I'm hoping that the Titans know him enough to know what his bad habits are. They're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to go get him.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go Packers.
All right. Well, that's 2 opposite right now. Another game that I wouldn't bet, but would be the Bears at the Colts. And the Colts are favored by 1 in Indianapolis against the rookie quarterback who had a tough game. He played better, much better, but he had a tough game against the Texans last week. He won his first game, the first week of the season. He had a tough game against the Texans. I think he's trying a little bit too hard. They got a lot of talent on Chicago, but I think he's trying a little bit too hard. But it's in Indy. I'm taking the Colts. I'm taking the Colts against a rookie quarterback. He holds onto the ball too much. He scrambles around. He gets really bad sacks. He's got an arm, though. But I think the Colts are going to pull this one out. It's only 1-point spread.
And, I'm feeling Chicago because I should go against you whenever I'm even considering it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Okay.
So why not? I really don't.
All right. This is game number 2 of the teaser.
All right.
It's the Miami Dolphins without Tua. A quarterback they signed this week would be the second-string quarterback to their quarterback that is terrible.
Okay. So Miami's got that.
And they're going to Seattle to play the Seahawks.
Who in Seattle, who just squeaked one out, right?
They won against New England on the East Coast, which is always hard to do for a West Coast team to go to the East Coast and win and play an early game.
Kind of close game.
Yeah, close game against New England, who always plays people tough. But the Seahawks are favored by 4. So if I was going to tease this game, Miami has a lot of weapons, but they don't have anybody to throw it. They're traveling to the West Coast. They're on the road. They're usually not a great road team.
We got a new quarterback who is second string.
He's the second-string quarterback, but their regular quarterback is terrible. He's awful. They just picked this guy. They figured Tua was going to be healthy for a little while.
Right.
So I'm taking Seattle, and I'd make them an underdog. So I would take 6 points away from the spread, and I'd make Seattle an underdog because I don't think Miami's going to win. And if they win, it's going to be a close game, maybe by 1 point. So
okay,
it would probably be Seattle getting a point as opposed to giving 4. That's the way it works.
I'd bet on this.
So that's tease number 2 in that same package. And then you got a game that I don't know anything that's going to go into this game because the Panthers are going to the Raiders. And the Panthers have been awful.
Yeah, the Raiders they did well last week.
And the Raiders, they did great playing Baltimore. Now they're at home. The difference is it's Andy Dalton. Now there's a reason why Andy Dalton is a backup right now. He's okay to come in for a game or two, but I don't know. After a win like that on the road, when you come home and you're ready to celebrate, I think that the Raiders are going to get after the Panthers. And the spread is 5.5.
And you said, I'm sorry, Andy Dalton's with
Carolina. They benched Bryce Young, the number 1 draft pick last year for the Carolina Panthers. They benched him. He's playing awful. And now they put in Andy Dalton, who's on the very tail end of his career.
How
as
old
a backup
is he?
quarterback.
36?
He's approaching Aaron Rodgers time, that's what it was. It was Andy Dalton, Aaron Rodgers for a long time with Green Bay and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah.
I'm definitely going with the Raiders on this 5.5.
Yeah, I would go with the Raiders as well.
Big question marks in this game because this is the all injury report game.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners have McCaffrey still out. They got Deebo Samuel's out as far as up until this game might be a game time thing. The Rams have Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua out, and they didn't look good last week against Arizona. So I'm going with the Niners in a bounce back game against the Rams. In an all California game. I don't think it's that far that they have to travel compared to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners want to show that they're coming back after what happened to them in Minnesota.
Boring. I agree.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to watch that game. There's a lot of injuries. But yeah. And next, it's the Lions on the road.
On the road.
Against the Cardinals.
They got a lot to prove against the Cardinals.
I know. That's a rough game.
Yeah.
And the Lions are another one of those road favorites. They're a road favorite right now. They're -3.
Yeah.
The Lions are given 3.
They've given 3 to the home team.
Yeah. After what happened last week, I don't know. I'm picking the Lions to win the game because they need it, and they're like 75% of the league's Super Bowl pick, like to go to the Super Bowl or go to the championship game. They need this game.
What happened last week, man? I was expecting them they need to score more than 16 points to win this game.
Yes, and they didn't do any. They didn't do anything.
Right, that's scary to me. As much
I think
as
this
I want
week they're going to
Detroit,
take it. I think that week they're going to take it all, and they're just going to try everything.
They're
going to play a little more loose. Hopefully he doesn't turn. I said he's streaky. Hopefully he doesn't turn the ball over too many times in this game. I expect at least 1 turnover. If there was a in-game play, I would expect the over 1 turnover for the Lions.
I think that the Lions are going to win by less than 3.
So you're going Arizona.
I'm going Arizona.
Wow. I don't like you right now.
Hey, listen, I want to be proven wrong. I don't mind it.
But that is one of the 5-star games of the week. So far, it's the Eagles and the Saints and the Lions and the Cardinals. Those games, if you can watch them. Go to a bar and watch them. Those look like exciting games.
I'm going to go to a bar.
Okay, the next game, which is another 5-star game of the week, is the Ravens, who are favored on the road by 1.5 to go to the Cowboys.
Man, and the Ravens have talent.
They both lost last week.
But the Ravens have a lot of talent, correct?
The Ravens have a lot of talent. The Cowboys have a lot of talent, too. They just crapped the bed. New Orleans punched them in the mouth. They never got up. And it's in Dallas. It's going to be a crazy game.
It's going to be a fucking game.
I said bring the popcorn because this is going to be crazy.
If I had to, and you said it's 1.5, so Dallas is getting.
Dallas is getting a 1.5.
I would go with Dallas. If I had to bet on this game, I think I'd go down. I don't know enough about Baltimore.
Baltimore lost to the Raiders.
Know. They've lost the first 2.
I think they're pissed.
I'm sure they're pissed.
I got the Ravens in this game. Exactly.
Sometimes that fucks you up.
Sometimes you press too much.
Yeah.
I think that this game is going to be an all-out war. I also think once one team gets a lead of 7 points to 10 points, I think it's a blowout. I think that the other team's going to try so hard not to come back. I think if it gets to a 10-point lead in the third quarter, either team, that team is going to keep going.
And the other
team's going to panic because they're.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really do.
Who's more likely to panic?
Dallas.
Even at home.
Dallas. Yeah.
Okay.
They did last week.
All right.
Next game, the Chiefs at my mighty, mighty, mighty Falcons.
Yes, the Chiefs and the Falcons.
Playing in Atlanta. The Chiefs squeak one out last week against those Cincinnati Bengals, but they're no match for the Atlanta Falcons. That's why I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I have no choice but to go with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are -3.5. Chiefs are -3.5.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't bet against this guy
too.
now. It just pisses me off. I can't bet against him. It pisses me off. Okay, Monday night. We have 2 games Monday night. 2.
2?
Yeah, there's an early game and a late game Monday night.
All right.
So Monday night, the next tease. Actually, I have 2 teases, both on Monday night.
Okay, perfect.
So the Monday night tease is the Jaguars are on the road after crapping the bed twice.
Right.
Going to the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills are favored by 5.
They're only favored by 5.
Exactly. Now tease it down and just have the Bills winning the game, and you win.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would tease it down. I would say the Bills outclass the Jaguars. I'm hoping that the Bills don't crap the bed because this is one of those where you're like, what happened? Or somebody gets hurt or something. But Monday night, I got the Bills.
Me too.
The second game, I wouldn't really watch the game, but I'm going to tease the game, which is the Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals are favored by 7.5.
You said they were playing where?
In Cincinnati.
Okay.
So this would be, if I went with a 3-game teaser, I'd pick those other 3 games. If I was trying to push it and go with 4, I would pick this game, and I would pick the Bengals to win the game, but I would take the points away from the Bengals, so they would only be up by 1.5, and they would have to win by 2.
So let's bet this teaser.
We're probably going to bet this teaser.
Let's bet this teaser.
I'm going to try.
I'll put money on it. It could be a thing.
You're going to be like, you suck. You lost me money.
I don't give a shit. No. I mean, I want to.
So we're going to try and bet this teaser.
So try and bet this teaser, and I want to have some.
There's
skin
no game
in
on
the
Thursday,
game.
so we're going to go by the odds that come out on Saturday. We'll bet the teaser because the odds shift a little bit, so we'll just get it when it is.
That's fine, but so you have the ability to do that, and I'll do whatever you do. I'll match whatever you do.
Okay, sounds good.
Good.
We'll put the teaser up. We're going to have some kind of Instagram thing or some kind of whatever thing just to post what we win or what we lose to say, like, we'll put it out there. So now that we have a name, we can open up some kind of social media thing where we can put it out there and just say, this is what our teaser is of the week, laugh at us or make money with us.
Good.
It'll be fun.
You're going to get Instagram?
I have Instagram. I just have it under 2 anonymous accounts. Just to watch my kids, who now are older, so I don't have to watch them anymore.
There you go.
I watch who their friends were forever. So
you're going to make an account. Yes, we'll keep track of this. That'd be fun. All right.
The account will be Chatty Caveman.
Chatty Caveman.
We'll find it. All right.
The Chatty
One of
Caveman.
This way we can ask questions and see if anybody responds. If not, I'll respond to myself.
Yes.
Okay, this has been long enough.